Hello and welcome to our channel. We are Global Traces, otherwise known as Dave, Jess, Isla and Otis. And we are one family traveling the world in Bebe, our MAN HX60 expedition truck. After the grandeur, activities and excitement of the Dolomites, we were ready for a bit of a chill out week. No such luck. With BB servicing, Dave's birthday and more of a mountain playground to explore, it was shaping up to be busy, busy, busy.
We left Italy heading for Austria and our good friends Kevin and Maya from Pumba Explores. En route though, we met another MAN HX60 Overlander. It was the Austrian-based HX Travellers on Instagram with their awesome conversion. They were returning from time in Sardinia and we couldn't believe the chances of quite literally nearly running into them on the road. We followed them briefly and pulled over at the side of the road to have a quick chat before going our separate ways. The drive through the South Tyrol villages of Italy and Austria really was beautiful at this time of year. Real Sound of Music style houses and window boxes bursting with flowers in bloom. It was a riot of cute wood and colourful petals. One thing that strikes you travelling around Europe is how borders are somewhat meaningless, especially when they're marked with nothing more than a signboard and the observation that fuel stations only 4 kilometres apart are charging about 23 cents a litre difference for diesel. That would mean a full tank for us would be a price differential of about €103, depending on which side of the sign we were standing. In terms of geography, it's all still South Tyrol and the Dolomites, so there's awesome mountains and alpine meadows, and in winter it's a vibrant ski resort. Unlike the French Alps, they've not quite turned it into the same summer playground, but the gondola still works as considered part of the public transport system and has to therefore function year-round. And it takes bikes! So that meant an adventure to get the e-bikes off the back of BB and go up the mountain for a ride. Now, some of you may call it cheating, taking a gondola up the mountain to then cycle back down, but the gondola doesn't go to the top, whereas we did. However, a message from Kevin about the weather possibly closing in meant a hasty retreat. Having a long, steep mountain bike descent in a mountain storm wouldn't be fun for anyone. However, as with our rush off the mountain in the Dolomites last week, the storm passed around. So when we got to the bottom, we dropped into the bike shop nestled next to the gondola station. This may have been a good idea or complete lunacy, because Isla went straight over to one of the bikes. It was purple and had unicorns, so pretty much couldn't have been any more perfect in her eyes. A couple of little test rides outside and a little saddle adjustment, and it was clear that we weren't going to get out of the bike shop without buying the bike. In truth though, we'd been talking about getting her on her own bike for a while, as she spent a lot of time on our bikes on the kids' ride shotgun seat and was very ready for her own wheels. The shop did us a very nice deal as we bought a couple of other parts too, and Isla is now the proud owner of her first bike. It seems it's a bit like the early version of getting your first car. No longer are you limited to walking or running at a comparatively slow pace, and now your range and speed have increased. It's also increased our walking range because Isla can pedal alongside us too. Double win! It was definitely a proud parent moment seeing her on her own bike and loving it so much.
Having loved my hike in the Dolomites and feeling more like mountain walking might be something I could get my teeth into, Maya suggested we go for a hike around the top of the gondola and the surrounding mountain lakes. Okay, here we are. I'm with Maya from Pumba Explores. Go check out their page. We are off on a girly solo hike. Yay! No dogs, no men, no children.
Exactly.
Whoop whoop!
And mountains for us. So
And
good.
mountains, yeah. Oh, about to get run over as well. There's a car uphill. Yeah, so we are off on a two-hour-ish hike around this gorgeous area in Isla in Austria. So we crossed across here the other day, and we are catching up with Maya and Kevin for a couple of days. Right, we will get cracking. Enjoy this solo time, and we'll see you in a bit. It was truly spectacular, and we had it near enough to ourselves, which was a lovely change from Tricime. Again, having some time to myself and an awesome girlfriend to chat with really was special. What do we have here, Maya?
Both poop.
Both poop. So we've been foraging. We have found mushrooms. What do they smell like? Are they like
Good.
mushroomy? Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. They're like
But
a
I
little.
will not pick up the open ones.
No. They've popped. Check that out.
All the flowers too.
Found some mushrooms for lunch. It's actually given us the idea that we can use locations for mountain walking as travel waypoints to aim for in our planning. So expect more of me huffing and puffing my way up the hills in the future. We were so busy chatting while walking that Maya managed to leave her phone by the side of one of the lakes while we stopped for a drink. She didn't realise until we got all the way back down the mountain. Fearing all was lost, Kevin called her phone, whereby a guy answered as he'd found it, and then he'd left it at a restaurant for Maya to collect. It was truly a moment that really restored our faith in humanity with all of the negative news stories flying around the world right now.
Right, well, just because we live in a big blue truck and we are continually adventuring our way slowly around the world doesn't mean we can't have some more mini adventures on the side as well. So tonight I am heading off for a little adventure on my own. I am going up a mountain for a wild camp to go and do some photography, to go and photograph sunset and sunrise. First though, I've got to try and get everything packed into my bag. So here's all the kit that has got to get into this camera bag just here. Now this is an f-stop Isla. It is certainly not the biggest f-stop bag I own, but it's the one that we have in the truck. Because it's not that big, it's fine. I can take it on aeroplanes. It holds an enormous amount of stuff. And it's super comfy to carry and really durable. And so the adventure begins. Everything's packed. Got a bag, got my kit. Now I've just got to walk to the gondola and get myself up the mountain. Well, this is novel. I'm sitting in this gondola and it's stopped. I was on one of the last gondolas up, but I'm hoping they haven't just forgotten, miscounted, and are going to leave me hanging here because, well, it's a little way down. No, we're all good. Started moving again. Just about a minute, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes of hanging around, not moving. And we are once again going up. At the top of the mountain. Okay, so I have a choice here because the path splits, or at least the main path goes one way, but there's another path. Do I, option A, take the easier path, which is longer but shallower, kind of loops round up to the top, or do I B, go straight up the side, much shorter, much steeper? Option B. Now, one of the things when you're hiking is carrying water. And when you're hiking and doing photography, water's quite a pain because your bag's already heavy enough. So carrying water weight is really annoying. Today I thought about bringing a 3-litre hydration bladder because obviously I'm going to be out for quite a while. And then I realised that actually I was coming up into the mountains. I knew there were some lakes, but there was also going to be some mountain streams. So I figured I could just carry a couple of small foldable water bottles that I could top up. Now that's great, but the water quality is unknown. So I have a little secret, a little trick up my sleeve that means I know I can get water from pretty much anywhere and not have to worry about it. And it's a Hydromate water filter. So let me show you. So Hydromate make these really cool foldable bottles. They're 750ml, but the bottle themselves, flexible. We've had some of these for 3, 4, 5 years and they last really, really well. And they weigh nothing. So When they're done, when you've finished, drunk all your water, fold it up, stick it in a pocket. You don't even know you're carrying it. And it makes getting water, if you're in an area like this where there is, as you can hear, flowing water, it makes getting water and staying hydrated really easy. But it's not just these bottles, because they also make this. Now I've been using these for, again, quite a few years, and it's a filter straw. You filter the water through. They have an activated carbon filter, and they've got a micro ultrafiltration membrane, 0.01 to 0.2 micron. It pretty much gets rid of everything, bacteria, protozoa, some heavy metals. Doesn't do viruses. If you're super concerned about viruses, then I also carry a couple of the Oasis, little pure water purification tablets. You can throw those in, chuck one of those in here, leave it an hour, drink it through the filter. You know that you are not going to be getting ill from pretty much any water. Now ideally, you don't want to be taking water from somewhere that's full of sediment and mud and silt and all of that jazz, but Hydromate do provide a pre-filter if you do have sedimenty water that you're going to drink from. You can put it on the end, on the bottom here, and just suck out from there. You can drink direct from the stream, or you can fill your bottle, put the filter on top, and drink through there. So I'm going to get these filled up, and then I know I've got 1.5 litres, and then think about it until a while later. Okay, so the bottle part is great. Now, you could use these in a multitude of ways. You can drink straight from the bottle if you trust the water source, or you can use that filter, or maybe, I don't know, you keep one as dirty water and then you filter, gravity filter into the other one. What I'm going to do, what I tend to do, is I fill them with whatever the water I've got is, and then I drink straight from it. So, how does it work? I take my filter, unscrew the bottom. One of the really nice things is a really lovely little touch that they've done, because if you're out in the wilds, you don't want to get lost. So the bottom cap has a compass on it, and inside it's got a signalling mirror. It doesn't add any weight. It's just a super simple idea. In fact, I should probably say that the total kit, all of this empties like 130 grams. So 130 grams to be able to carry your water is brilliant. So take the bottom off, I set that to one side. This screw thread fits any standard 28ml bottle, so it'll even work with like your Evian or your other standard plastic bottle. I'll take the cap off here, screw it on, take the cap off, and away you go. Filtered water. And what I should say, for those of you that do use a hydration bladder, maybe you don't want to carry these, you want the water weight in your back, you want a hydration bladder, you want to be able to fill that up. There's another lovely little touch in here. This here, inside the bottom of there, that little spigot that sticks out, is a standard hydration bladder fitment. So you just take the mouthpiece off the end of your hydration bladder, you slot it on there, and now you can fill your water bladder, stick this on the end, drink straight through the bottom of it. And also, not an advert. We are not sponsored by them. Just something I've bought and been using for a long time. I thought you guys should know about. If you like the look at these Hydromate bottles, down in the link in the description down below, we have an Amazon affiliate store. Doesn't cost you anything more to buy from there, but we will get a commission if you do buy anything on a qualified purchase, and I'll make sure that these Hydromate bottles and filters are in there, probably in the truck essentials section, so you can go find them if you think they might be useful for you. I'm off to hike up that way and find my sunset spot and where I'm going to camp for the night. Catch you in a bit. Well, the photography's pretty much done now. The sun's gone down over here. Still looks like there's quite a lot of light here, but the colours kind of faded off. I was shooting the mountains up over here. It's beautiful. Put a long lens on, zooming in quite tight. Did a couple of wides, got the valley down below, but I was really interested in the cragginess of the mountains over there. And temperature's obviously dropped, sun's gone. Elevation means that it's got a bit chilly, so I've got my long sleeve top on that I had on already. Insulator layer, windproof. There's not a lot of wind, but it's just helping to keep the warmth in a little bit. And now, two things to do. One, I need to figure out where I'm going to sleep for the night. I think I found a spot. And two, I need to get a 360 camera set up because I'm going to try and shoot a star lapse tonight. I'll keep my fingers crossed the Milky Way comes up. I'll also keep my fingers crossed that these clouds up here kind of thin out a little bit, because otherwise my star lapse is not going to have many stars in it really. Okay, well, just back from where I was shooting, there's this kind of depression here, a little sunken down, and it's grassy, which means it's nice and soft. I've got a camping mat anyway, but this will be nice and soft. And I don't think there's going to be any water running through here. It does look like it might have been, maybe, or may possibly be a watercourse under heavy rain, but I think this will do rather nicely as a place to sleep for the night. Well, it's not looking good for a star lapse tonight. Pretty much just clouded out. So, got my bivvy up, all settled in. Think I'm going to get an early night, wake up early for sunrise, and keep my fingers crossed that these clouds dissipate a little bit and I get something cracking in the morning. Night. Had a really lovely night last night, slept really well. Unfortunately, way too many clouds for the star lapse that I was hoping to get, but sunset was really quite pretty. And sunrise this morning, although short because of these clouds, the sun's kind of climbed up above the clouds now, was definitely sweet. And now I need to get back down the hill, down that way. I'm going to kind of follow this Cillian Uber 2A trail. Reckons it's 2.5 hours back. I'll see if I can beat that. And get my way back to the girls. Well, it is truck mechanics time. We've come into Austria. We've met up with Pumba Explores, who some of you may remember we met on a beach in Denmark a couple of years ago. And Kevin, you can see behind me, quite conveniently, happens to be a truck mechanic. So given that it's time for an oil change and all the filter changes, he said he'd help out. Winning! He also managed to secure the oil for us at a decent price. So I'm not going to let him tilt the cab all on his own. I'm going to crack on and we're going to try and get as much done this evening as we can, and I'll finish off the rest tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to do oil filter, air filter, 2 fuel filters and the air dryer, and that should be everything we need. Serving a truck like Bebe really isn't actually that hard. It's true, it definitely helps that we had some training with Matt Payne of Overland Monkey back when we last did a full service. And it also helps that Kevin is a hugely experienced truck mechanic. The plan for the servicing was simple. Oil, oil filter, air dryer, 3 fuel filters and some greasing of the drivetrain underneath. Along the way, we also checked the steering and suspension bushings and arms for excess play, the oil in the diff locks and transfer case and gearbox, and generally had a good poke around underneath. Before the start of this trip, we made sure to get a full set of all the major filters on board, knowing that the service would be due before we return to England next year, and trying to find the filters on the road could have been a logistical challenge. However, while poking around, we also spotted that the steering fluid was looking a little bit foamy, almost like there'd been some water in there at some point. So we had to add a steering drain, filter replacement and top up of the steering pump reservoir to the list. And that's it. Bebe is fully serviced. We have changed the oil filter, air dryer, separator fuel filter, pre-fuel filter, primary fuel filter, steering pump filter, steering pump fluid, obviously the oil. We've greased everywhere underneath, all the grease nipples underneath. We've checked the oil levels and quality in the transfer cases, the diff lock, basically everything. What we will do, because we've changed the steering pump filter and fluid, is we're going to treat it like a bit of a wash, maybe about 5,000 kilometers. We're going to get another filter and just drain it through once more, put another clean filter in because she's a little bit foamy. It's obviously had a bit of water has got into the steering pump system at some point, so washing it through for the cost of a filter, which is like, I don't know, 12 euros, and a few litres of Dex 3 or ATF 3, it's totally worth doing just to ensure that all is well. But for now, she's all serviced, and Kevin, Pumba Explores, pretty much did all the heavy lifting. Truck mechanic, lots of experience. He just zipped round and nailed it all. It was fantastic. I pretty much just passed him tools. So huge thanks to Kevin. Massively appreciated. And although it's my birthday, we're going to take him out for pizza now. So need to go and get showered, get all the grub off, and we're heading out. We also had my birthday while we were parked with Kevin and Maya. And that meant that Isla and Jess baked me my own chocolate brownie birthday cake with candles and decorated the truck with happy birthday signs and balloons. It is definitely a different kind of birthday, and one that I am not going to forget because it was just so awesome.
That's it for this week, folks. Join us next week when we briefly return to the Dolomites. Honestly, we just cannot stay away, and then begin our journey eastwards. And if you haven't hit the like, subscribe and share buttons yet, please do so below, as this really helps us. Thanks a lot. Goodbye, folks.